everybody, and thank you for joining us once again. Before we get started, just want to give a couple shout outs here. We have with us Oakhurst and Monmouth Fire Department. Thank you guys. We have our police rifle guard, our Chief Peters over here. Captain Torrentino's with us today. And with me, of course, Council Member Deputy Mayor John Napolitani, Councilman Dave Fisher, Councilman Rob Achara, and coming up to my right, Councilwoman Marge Donlin. Dr. Donlin had patience this morning, but she's coming up and she's going to join us as well. Oh, at this time, I'd like to call up the Boy Scouts. Let's have Don Brocco come on up. Okay, Don, you're going to take over and do the flag.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to introduce Star Scout Robert O'Gorman.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to call up Alexandra Colakovio, and she's going to grace us with a beautiful rendition of Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Alex. She'll be up again at the end, Coach. Wonderful. Okay, at this time we're going to have an opening prayer from Ken Serrano from VFW Post 2226. Ken, please.
You may be lost. You are not forgotten. For those who have journeyed far to fight in foreign lands, know that the soldier's greatest comfort is to have his friends close at hand. In the heat of battle, it ceases to be an idea for which we fight or a flag. Rather, we fight for the man on our left. We fight for the man on our right. When armies have scattered and the nations fall away, all that remains is the memory of those precious moments we spent side by side.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we get into the wreaths, I'm just going to make a quick statement here. I'd like to read something in from a Ocean resident, Lois Kiley. Lois is also instrumental in helping out over at the Historical Museum. And it's a story about her dad that she never knew, who she lost during World War II when she was born. I never heard my father's voice. There were photographs of him. I know his handwriting from letters he wrote to my mother, but I always wondered how he sounded. Did his voice reflect the French-Canadian dialect of his parents' speech, or did it have a masculine North Jersey sound to it? Was it soft-spoken or deep baritone? She frequently asked herself these questions. But Kylie will never know because her father, Louis LePont, was killed in the Battle of North Rome in 1944 during World War II when she was an infant. LePont was enlisted twice before he was finally accepted into the U.S. Army. The war was raging, and like most of his friends, he felt duty-bound to defend his country. He shipped out filled with hope and idealism, but he never returned home. I became what was government called a war orphan, Kylie said. So it's very understandable that these questions and feelings come to the forefront for Kylie every year around this time, Memorial Day and also on Veterans Day. And Kylie also has written a book and an entry here, and it's called Chicken Soup for the Soul of Military Families, and the entire story's in there. So on behalf of the war orphans, we'd like to present a wreath. Thank you, members. At this time, I'm just going to read some names of our veterans throughout World War I, II, Korea War, Vietnam War, and the Iraqi conflicts, Afghanistan, ones that we have lost. Not many, thankfully, but never forget them. Clarence G. Bennett, Norman S. Bloodgood, Howard C. Leahy, Leonard Benjamin, Ralph Dangler, Theodore Frangelheisen, Louis Gimbel Jr., John Lambertson, Thomas Quirk Jr., Berkel Rasmussen, and most recently Scott Sherman and Rich Cummins Jr. Moment of silence. At this time, we'll call back up Don Brockel for a reading and a placing of the wreath, Boy Scouts Troop 71. Mr. Brockel.
Mayor, Council, thanks for inviting Troop 71. And also the other scouts of Ocean Township, Troop 70, did a ceremony this morning at 9 o'clock at the museum. I believe you guys were there. And they did a fine job. And I think a lot of the scouts in our town have been doing things. You know, you really can't Zoom a flag ceremony. You can't Zoom something like this. It's better to be here. And we all look really good with masks. I want to tell you all, you look great. But yeah, we put flags on cemeteries. We were able to socially distance. We were able to have the families come in. We did a little work in Interlaken yesterday, putting flags at every house. And it worked out very well. And everybody felt great doing it, to get out of the house, be socially distanced, and be safe. And to recognize the fallen of our town and our country. So, at this time, I'd like to bring the Scouts of Troop 71 to the wreath in honor of those who have fallen. Robert O'Gorman and Avery O'Gorman, sons of Kim and Charlie O'Gorman, the Ocean Township grad. He lives in Ocean Township.
Thanks, Don. Hey, without haircuts, Don, it's like class of 76 and 77 again here, right? Glad I'm not the only one. Tommy Rude, too. Need a haircut. At this time, I'm going to bring back up our Commander Ken Scarano and Tom Milmo. They're going to do a little reading and a wreath and flag. Come on up, fellas.
Can everybody hear me? Usually I don't have a problem with people hearing me, so if you can't, just put your thumb up and I'll speak louder. Kashmir Asumades. Peter Artris. Richard Bean. James Doc Brannigan. Lloyd Crawford. Michael Tabazi. Leroy Duncan Jr. Kenneth Foster. Erwin Garikoff. Walter Gordon. Kenneth Hampton. Robert Hybert. Charles Huss Jr. Joseph Gimonaro. Connie Carey. Thomas Kennedy. Charles Kubasek. Edward Lacey. Alfred Lehman. David McInerney. Richard McKnight. Irvin Mencken. Peter Moore. Frank Cartouche. John Phillips. William Perkin. Harry Rowland Jr. Ralph Semplak. Avelino Silva. Catherine Stanzione. That concludes our list. Thank you all for remembering them and all that have gone before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, at this time, I'm going to bring up my friend Joe Williams from the Catholic War Vets for the wreath and the flag placement.
Good morning, everyone. As the mayor said, my name is Joe Williams, and I have been a Ocean Township resident for the past 48 years. I grew up in Allenhurst, went to Bond Street Grammar School, and graduated Asbury Park High School. About a year later, I was drafted into the Army and sent to Vietnam, where I served with the 25th Infantry Division in the Central Highlands near a small city named Lake Coupe. I am a life member of the VFW, a life member of the DAV, and a very active member of the Catholic War Veterans Post 714 in Asbury Park. I have just a few remarks to share with you regarding the veteran organization I represent today. The Catholic War Veterans Post 714 is the only post located in Monmouth County. In fact, it was founded over 70 years ago in Asbury Park at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. For your understanding of who we are and what we do, first and foremost, we are veterans that help other veterans. It is most disturbing to us that there are so many homeless veterans across our nation, and we are deeply saddened by the daily reports of veteran suicides. Current statistics show that an average of 22 veteran suicides happen each and every day. The recent loss of veterans' lives due to COVID-19 at our 3 long-term New Jersey veteran homes is staggering. And as of last Friday, out of a total of 655 residents, the total confirmed cases were 381, of which 143 deaths. To us, this is totally unacceptable. We are seeking ways for ourselves to take a more proactive stance. Our fundraising activities occurred over the summer months, where we offered copies and flags to the general public. Under normal conditions, you could find us up at Walmart, up at Monmouth Park Racetrack, and over on the Asbury Park Boardwalk, weather permitting. Over the recent years, we have raised tens of thousands of dollars, which we donated to A-rated military charities, including the Menlo Park Veteran Memorial Home. Our works are noble, our works are charitable, and we do it with a sense of humility, out of respect, which is fueled by our Christian values and the love we share for our disabled warriors. But today is Memorial Day, a day when we honor all deceased veterans, white, black, Latino, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and all those deceased veterans who have worn our uniform in the cause of freedom. I will now read four names of our members that passed away during the year, and when I do, I would ask one of our councilmen to please go place a flag by the monument. First name, Joseph Bonavico. Second name, Emil Fortunato. Third name, Samuel Fuco. And Ocean Township's very own Sam Sattini. I would now ask the Boy Scout to please present the wreath. I would now ask Rob McKnight from my organization to step forward with me over by the monument a second. We have another flag here, and we're going to present it for the second flag underneath our American flag for the POW MIA who didn't return home. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, but most of all, cherish your freedom. Pray for peace.
Thank you, Joe, Catholic War Vets. At this time, usually I introduce our good friend Stanley Shapiro. Stanley couldn't be with us tonight. He represents the Jewish War Vets. On his behalf, we're going to have Councilman Dave Fisher read a little something and read the names for the flag. Dave?
Good morning, everyone. Due to the current COVID-19 health safety concerns, we do not have Stanley Shapiro here today, commander of the Jewish War Veterans Post 125, in attendance. For years, Stanley and so many others from Post 125 have been key participants and attendees at the Memorial Day ceremony. It is with great honor that I accept Stanley's request to be here today on Memorial Day. I'd like to ask the council to place a flag for each of the following members who have passed away this year. Martin Spector. Roy Cohen. Colonel Ron Ledwitz. Joseph Weiniger. Erwin Garikoff. And Arnold Halpern. I'd also request that the Boy Scouts place a wreath to commemorate those who courageously gave their lives and to honor those who fought bravely today. Stanley wanted me to remind everyone today that today is not a day of celebration, for the day of remembrance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. You honored them well. The VFW needs a place for a wreath at this time. They're gonna. That's that last one here. All right, at this time I'm going to call back up Alexandra Colacolco, please, for a America the Beautiful.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Alexandra. Keep messing up her name. Before we do the rifle salute, we'll go on to that. At this time, we have a short presentation for all of our VFW, Catholic war vets, and Jewish war vets. Can one person please step up here? So, our entertainment coordinator, Jen Nordstrom, decided a little something special here for Memorial Day. She asked the students to write letters to our veterans. And they did. They came out and wrote some really nice letters. So we want to present a packet to each one of your groups here on behalf of the students of Ocean Township and for your service to us. So, for you, Dave. One more thing, fellas. We have a group in town. It's the SYNC group. It's a Sephardic network of folks who live in Ocean Township, and they want to help out people in our community as well. And they've been distributing lunches and dinners and whatnot. They want to make sure that you fellows, our veterans, also have ample supplies of masks and whatnot. So we want to make sure, on behalf of SYNC, we do this presentation for you guys as well. We thank them for that. Thank you, students. Thank you, Jen, for doing that. And thank you, SYNC, for the offering the protection there. Okay. At this time, we're going to have our Ken Scarano come on up for the salute to fallen soldiers, and we'll have our rifle salute. Rifle salute by our police honor guard.
Fire! Ready! Fire! Ready! Fire!
Chris Wilson will play taps. Thank you, Chris. This concludes our ceremony. I want to thank you all for joining us. Usually at this time, in better times, our VFW graciously invites everybody back for lunch, but due to the virus situation, they're asking that we all go home and just enjoy our families and remember the ultimate sacrifice that some made for so many. Thank you all for joining us. Good day, everybody.